What is up with caffeine regrowing hair? Yeah, that's the thing. If you haven't heard about this, there's even dermatologists online pointing to a human clinical trial of caffeine's ability to regrow hair. And I've even seen caffeine in shampoos as well. So what is the proof for all this? Well, there's research suggesting that caffeine can quickly, within just 2 minutes, penetrate hair follicles. Other studies have indicated that caffeine can counteract the effect of testosterone and lead to the growth of hair follicles, at least in isolated cells. Other researchers have suggested that caffeine and minoxidil, given at the same time, work better at enhancing the length and the weight of hair, at least in laboratory animals. But what about people? So here is the human clinical trial that I have seen dermatologists talking about online. And as you can tell from its very wordy title, they are comparing topical caffeine to minoxidil, which is very interesting. 161 men with androgenic alopecia are given either caffeine or 5% minoxidil daily for 6 months, which is more than enough time to see if any hair growth occurred. And for those who want to know more, the men who were using caffeine were using a 0.2% solution of topical caffeine that was applied to a region of their head each day, twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. Those who were using minoxidil were using 1 milliliter of 5% minoxidil once in the morning and once in the evening. 6 months later, it's reported that the rate of hair growth in the men using caffeine was basically the same as those guys who were using minoxidil. In the words of the researchers themselves, caffeine should be considered as not inferior to minoxidil for men who are dealing with androgenic alopecia. Pretty interesting words. However, there's some things you need to know about this study. Number one, some of the researchers had ties to the company that sponsored this investigation, which overall I don't have a problem with, but I thought I would throw it out there because I knew people would ask me about it. Number two, this study came out in 2018. Here we are several years later, and I have not been able to find this study replicated anywhere, which is weird because they're basically saying that caffeine regrows hair as well as minoxidil does. Given the ramifications, you would think that somebody somewhere would have tried to replicate these results. Number three, remember that this study lasted 6 months, which is enough time to see if hair growth occurred with caffeine and minoxidil. And this goes to what I think is the biggest weakness of this study, and that is, where are the before and after pictures? I can't find any when I looked at this study. There's a graph, which is fine, showing that caffeine and minoxidil work equally as well, but it would be better if they would have published some before and after pictures so people could judge for themselves how effective caffeine really is. And just for comparison, I will link to some other natural products for hair growth below where you can see before and after picture for yourself. But right now, based on what I have seen, I've remained skeptical about caffeine as a natural solution for hair loss.